Hello everybody! I decided to do a video for this entry on my blog because I have a lot to say and I didn't really want to have to type it all out. I will add some pictures though to illustrate what I'm saying. So I've moved into my new place. I spent a week in Venice, however, before I came, and that was pretty amazing. I'm really glad that I chose that as my week's vacation. There's so much to see there, just walking around and looking at the buildings. It was very, very busy though. There were lots of tourists, like myself. So it wasn't super fun to be over in the main areas most during the day because it was very, very hot, like 30 degrees most days and very humid. So standing in a lineup to wait to get into a church that wasn't air conditioned wasn't top on my list. Yeah. But anyways, I did see a bunch of churches and I sat out beside the canal every night watching the sunset, which unfortunately wasn't amazing every night because just as the sun was setting, there was a band of clouds right at the skyline. So it was awesome. Sunny, 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 clouds. So it wasn't as spectacular as the first night that I was there, but it was still nice to sit out and chat with people. I discovered a supermarket down the street that sold drinkable red wine for €2 a bottle. And so I made that my tradition to go and buy my wine there rather than at the hostel, which was €3 per glass. So that added up a little bit before I figured out where the cheap stuff was. But the biggest part about my trip, I think, was that I decided to put myself out there and make some friends. So each day I talked to somebody new, and the first night I talked to a girl that was in my room who kind of looked like she was doing what I was doing and just keeping to herself. It was her last night in Venice, and she had also been there for a week and hadn't made any friends because she is shy also. So I saw that she was getting settled down to watch a movie in her bed by herself, so I asked her if she wanted to go downstairs for a drink because there was a bar downstairs in our hostel. And she said yes, so we ended up having a couple drinks and sitting outside, and she said that she was very glad that I asked her. So that was very encouraging, and she left the next morning, so I went off to explore by myself. Well, that was my intention. But once I got to the Vaporetto stop, that's the water bus, there was a girl there who we both almost got on the wrong one. So the guy yelled out, the next stop, and we both realized that it was going the wrong way, so we both got off and had a laugh about that. And then we ended up just walking around together for that whole day, had dinner, and we made plans to walk around together the next day as well. And ended up hanging out for 3 days, and then her name was Amanda. And then she left, and another girl that we had met named Steph, she and I hung out the following day. So I ended up having someone to hang out with all the days that I was there, except for my last day, my last full day. But that was okay, because I just packed and went to some churches by myself, which I didn't realize I didn't have to wait in line, so I probably would have gone to a lot more of them had I known that. So I went to 4 churches, and the St. Mark's Piazza has a palace, so I went there as well. And it's huge and crazy decorated, like the ceilings were just covered in gold and paintings. Every inch of the walls and the ceiling was covered in paintings and gold. I don't even know what you would call it. Kind of like crown molding, but it's all gold. Pretty crazy. And even the stairways were covered like that. And then my last night, I got myself a pizza from the store down the street. And it was delicious, and I almost ate the whole thing. And then a family that was sitting next to me asked me to take a picture for them. So I stood up and didn't close the box all the way And while I had my back turned, the stupid seagulls took my last piece. I was very upset about that. And they spilled my wine, which was even worse, to be honest. Let's face it. And anyways, so I was close to finishing an entire pizza by myself, but didn't quite make it. I would have eaten it though. I was still hungry. So anyways, then I just hung out there by myself, and I was feeling a little sorry for myself, to be honest, because I'd been all by myself all day, and I had looked for some people that I knew, but I didn't manage to find anybody. And then, sure enough, just as I was feeling sorry for myself, one of the guys that we had hung out with previously, I can't remember his name though, he was British, walked by, and he joined me, went and grabbed a drink and came out. And then 2 other girls walked by and they joined us, and within half an hour I had like 6 people sitting with me, and we were all chatting and having wine, and it was pretty great. And we were talking about what we'd done that day, and the British guy, I'm just going to call him Andy for the sake of it. I know his name did start with an A, but I can't remember it. Anyways, Andy was telling us that he had been out at a club the night before and had stayed up late enough, because the clubs stay open until 4. He'd stayed up late enough to see the sunrise from the other side. So we were all discussing that, and myself and the 2 girls, Charlotte and Victoria, decided to get up the next morning to see the sunrise. So we agreed to meet downstairs outside the hostel at 5:30 in the morning and see the sunrise. So we did that, and unfortunately it was cloudy again. It was actually clear sky until it actually started, the sun started to rise, and then it got cloudy, so we were a little upset about that. But anyways, we stayed out there and chatted as we watched the sunrise. And then we went over to St. Mark's Piazza, because we had been told that it was quite nice when there's not so many people, and it was pretty awesome. Like, there was pretty much no people on any of the bridges, which are usually packed with tourists, so you can't get a good picture. So we took a bunch of pictures of us in the square and on the bridges and stuff. And I got a pretty cool picture of like the sun coming down on the square. So I thought that was pretty cool. We saw a couple of photo shoots. We thought it was a wedding, and we were pretty excited about that. And then we saw another one, so I think it was just a magazine shoot for a bridal wear, because both couples were Asian and around the same age, and the dresses were kind of similar. So, but I'm just going to pretend that they were actually weddings, because that's just a lot more cool. So I'm going to go with that. So yeah, so that was my last day. I then just went back to the hostel and packed up and headed to the train, or to the plane. And then that was Friday, and then Sunday I came back. Aaron and Benoit dropped me off with the family. The dad's name is Ben, and the mom's name is Elodie. And the kids are Lisa and Maëlle. And so far it's pretty good. I haven't really done much this week. Elodie was, very kind enough to let me just kind of observe, and she hasn't, because they're still on our summer holidays, so there's not a lot for me to do really at the moment. So we've just been chatting and getting to know each other, and I'm learning how their family runs and that kind of thing. It is kind of difficult though, because they pretty much always talk in French, unless they're specifically asking me something, and that gets a little boring to be sitting here listening to French all the time with no one else to talk to. But I am picking up some more words, so I guess it's a benefit, but I'm definitely a little bored and lonely. So I'm going to try harder starting next week to find some friends, maybe on this side of the lake, or I might just have to go into Geneva more, because I have a car now. But I'm going to need to get myself a GPS thing, because I get lost a lot around here, and that wouldn't be very good, to be lost in the dark. I don't think I'd ever find my way home. I guess that's probably all I have to say right now. I'm hoping that starting next week things will get a little more back to normal, I guess. But it probably won't be till the following week when the girls go back to school, and we'll get into a good routine. There is a place where I can go rock climbing nearby, so hopefully I can afford to do that. And I'd also like to look into doing yoga. I might even just do it on my own here, but a class would be nice to get started. So hopefully exercise will be good for me as well, mind-wise. And yeah, okay, I'm gonna sign off now. Hopefully you actually enjoyed this. I've never done this before, so I've probably not been looking at the camera very much. Or maybe I have. I don't know. Who knows? Either way, you get to hear about Venice and see my beautiful face in the process. I will talk to you guys later. I'll probably do typing ones in the future, but I just wanted to get all caught up without having to type for hours, because the internet, it doesn't work here very well. So hopefully you guys have had a look at my Venice pictures. Not a single one of them was edited. So it's actually that beautiful. And I look forward to visiting other places in the future. Bye.